This is Cardiff's most famous landmark, Cardiff Castle. It's actually 3 castles. There's a Victorian fairy tale castle, there's a Norman keep, and a Roman fort. Yes! The Romans came to the area about AD 50. They beat a local Celtic tribe called the Silurs, and they gave Cardiff its name, Caer Daf, a fort on the river Tap. I don't know how it becomes Daf, but anyway, Cardiff came out of that. AD 70, they started to build a permanent fort, and they controlled the whole of Wales. This is it, just as the Romans built it, left. The same as the day a Roman hand put that brick on top of... Yeah, alright, so it's had quite a lot built on top of it since. It's still Roman. Let's do the Normans. William the Conqueror said to the knights that followed him, look, you can have Wales as long as you can subdue the locals. And one of them, Robert, Lord of Gloucester, took him at his word and took on the Prince of Glamorgan. He beat him and then thought, right, I'll have Cardiff because it's a really good port and there's a Roman fort there where I can build my own motte and bailey. Moat and the bailey behind me, the Norman keep. It's where the Lord and his family lived, but it was also a jail, and they kept him there. Robert, the Duke of Normandy, eldest son of William the Conqueror, who'd got a bit too big for his boots and was locked up by his brother for 11 years until he became a vicar. No, he died in there. Section in the castle's history involves the Marquesses of Bute. The third Marquess inherited the castle when he was just a kid, and when he was 18 he had this wall built with all the various animals staring over the top. He and an architect called William Burgess spent millions and millions of his pounds, because he was one of the richest men in Europe, on doing all sorts of work on the castle. Like, for example, that lot. You should see the inside. We're now in the clock tower. In fact, we're above the clock itself, and the whole of this tower is one giant bachelor's pad. You've got a winter smoking room downstairs, then the Marquess's bedroom, and a summer smoking room here, which is one of the most extraordinary rooms in the whole of Britain. You've got 8 different winds depicted holding up each corner of the room, and I reckon that the theme here is love throughout the seasons, because there's Cupid, and this is, in summer, my love grows greener. Unreal room. Lord Bute's bedroom. Beautifully elaborate. In fact, insane. Look at that. 189 mirrors on the ceiling, all reflecting his name, John, in Greek. And then his name, Saint John the Baptist, done in bronze with emeralds and rubies inlaid into his chest. And then the bathing area through here. Chaucer's mermaid is depicted in the sink. A lovely deep bath surrounded by 60 different types of marble with the name written in gold. So that's black and gold, turkey red, Derbyshire fossil. The name but 3. The Marquess had 4 kids, and this is their day nursery. Lovely stories told in tiles all the way around. Robinson Crusoe there, Sleeping Beauty, Little Red Riding Hood, Robin Hood with Maid Marian, and a lovely sort of Victorian idea here. You've got Lady Fame, who's sitting above her heralder here, who's blowing her trumpet. But if you blow it too much, you end up with ass's ears. She's got, I haven't got ass's ears. He may have been the richest man in Europe, but he wanted to make his kids humble. know we've come out of Cardiff. In fact, we're near to Newport. This is Caerleon. But it's important because it's Roman, and we needed some Roman in the... We did, come on. Caerleon is actually how the Welsh pronounced Castra Legionum, which means fort for the legion. There were only 3 legionary bases in England, here, Chester and York. Here because they met fierce resistance from the local tribe, the Silures. They had a huge army based here. These are the barracks, the only surviving barracks in the whole of the British Isles. What's the matter? Weren't they a bit drafty? No, they were a bit taller than that. They probably had wooden tops and they had red slated roofs and greenish windows. There were 60 barracks in all here, a huge army. They did eventually win, and things settled down. You can see here against the old walls of the fort, the ovens where they used to cook. Earth walls at first, with wood on top, replaced by stone, now returned to earth. Now, they weren't always fighting. They actually had some fun as well. Every self-respecting legionary soldier would expect to be given an amphitheatre for entertainment as part of his everyday life. And the soldiers of Caerleon were no exception. They had to build it themselves, but boy did they build a beauty. Look at that! It's amazing! 5,000 people sitting here, watching the goings-on, you know. There'd be fighting with a wild animal, there'd be gladiatorial stuff, killing one another. There'd be the odd execution, military marching, archery displays, you name it, all happening in there, and usually associated with the spillage of blood. All in the name of sport. Now, it was built in AD 90, which probably means that the Silures had been defeated by then, because it's on the outside of the city walls. You can see the city walls just over there. Good, clean fun. But they had another way of celebrating. Castle Koch, the Red Castle, just outside Cardiff, guarding the Taff. There was a castle here in the 12th century. There was a castle here in the 13th century. In the 15th century, they fell into disrepair. And guess who eventually bought them? Come on, guess. The Romans. No, the Marquis of Bute bought them. The 3rd Marquis. Make another fairy tale castle. Him and Burgess. They set about it in 1875. Although they didn't finish it until 1891. I wouldn't mess with that because it's a real drawbridge. It really works. Yes. They actually finished it 10 years after Burgess's death. The Marquis's wife said that Burgess was a very ugly man that made very beautiful things. And I think that's probably right. Excuse me, can we squeeze through? Thank you. Now, spending all of that money on building this castle, what do you think he used it for? Nothing. He did actually plant some vines here, and he made a Riesling wine, which was so dreadful that Punch magazine did a cartoon about it, and they said you need 4 men per bottle. 1 victim, 2 people to hold the victim down, and 1 to pour it down his neck. That's how dreadful it was. He also used it for locking up his kids when they had infectious diseases. That's not nice. It's not nice. You may have spent a fortune on it. It may be very odd. But it's also very beautiful and elaborately decorated on the inside.